Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread for today? Oh my goodness. Wow, first two cards. We are starting our day off with today, and this is very intriguing. Because one of the things that we always want to pay attention to is when we're having continuation of path work. Now, when our last reading, we finished on the Knight of Cups in its upright was our ultimate card on Monday. Today, we are starting our reading with, look who's shown up, the Knight of Cups in its reversal, in combination with High Priestess in its reversal. Listen, this is to be expected when we're going through a retrograde like this, okay? It's a lot of that out of spoons energy. It's working through feelings of energetic exhaustion. A couple of things to recognize and identify is when we've got Neptune and Saturn retrograding together, it can often generate the feeling of feeling at your limit, right? Like working through something, feeling really frustrated, feeling really like working through, like I keep on hearing like the frustration that feels like a limitation. The one thing I'm going to say right now is frustration fuels expansion. Okay? If this energy is getting to you today, I want you to go write that down somewhere. I want you to write frustration fuels expansion, because the ability of feeling frustrated, right? And again, I'm actually really glad that we're going to be kind of studying the Tower card tonight, because it feels really apropos for the energy that we're currently experiencing. You know, when we feel like we're at our wit's end, it allows the ability of having an energetic fresh start, right? So long as we allow the frustration to guide us into the space of energetic breakthrough. I'm going to tell you right now, now is not the time to be assuming anything. Anything. Look at me. Do not come to me for a reading in a few weeks and say, well, I assumed. I'm like, well, what did I tell you about assuming things during a retrograde like this? Do not assume intention right now. Don't do it. Okay? Because you're going to move yourself straight into Fool energy. And not in a good way, okay? You never know, because here's the thing. I'm telling you right now, this type of energy, vulnerability, and I'm going to tell you the type of vulnerability that others don't like talking about, all right? The type of vulnerability that others don't feel like talking about. The type of vulnerability that it's like, I'm telling you right now, this is the energy of the sore subject. And so what I'm trying to save you from right now is the space. And this is what happens when we get like all up in our ego about something, right? And then we energetically pop off about something. We sometimes fail to recognize situations or circumstances with a sense of empathy. Remember the lessons. And that's why I said I was actually I felt like this retrograde season was actually a little bit easier when Mercury was retrograding in Leo. Because when Mercury is retrograding in Leo, what does Mercury retrograding in Leo say when we're feeling frustrated? Like Mercury's just leaning there going, have you tried putting a little compassion into it? If the engine's working, have you tried putting a little compassion into it? Have you tried adding a little compassion, right? Take the message. I'm doing you a favor right now. Take the message of the Mercury retrograde in Leo. And remember, before you jump to a conclusion, have you put a little bit of compassion into it? Have you put a little compassion into it? And I need to stress this. Compassion does not require you. The reason I say that is because compassion does not require you to have to be nice about things. Compassion comes in many different forms. And that's why I said right now, what I'm seeing that's happening for a lot of energy and separation, compassion through hard conversations. Compassion through hard conversations. Working something out, hashing it out, right? Because when we're able to work through our vulnerability, right? And we're able to build into the context of articulating upon something that's energetically bothering us, instead of reacting to it, what do we find? We find comprehensiveness. We find comprehension. So that's what I like. I told you, some of these new relationships that are forming right now, I keep on seeing it's giving me a lot of that tell me everything. And I think that this is really important, because you'll recall that I talked about the fact right before I started this podcast. I was trying to give the update. And as I was talking about what was bothering, the energy and separation, was literally like I was saying like I was articulating about the fact that when we walk away from things, there's no ability to heal anything. Like my own throat chakra got locked up, because that's what it feels like. It's like the space by which, when you build into a relationship where another person walks away instead of dealing with things, it makes you energetically afraid to talk about things that are difficult. And so that's why I see that there's something really important that's happening right now, for both. And I've got a couple different modalities here, because we've got masculine and feminine already on the table. The observation I keep on saying, the observation that when we care about each other, there's no room for passive aggressiveness, because passive aggressiveness is the space by which we're harboring something instead of just working to energetically resolve it. So that's what we keep on seeing here. Now, one of the things that's very important, remember what I said. I've got a couple different modalities that are happening right now in separation. There are experiences, and this is often what we recognize with retrograde cycles, things from the past that feel like they return back to us, either metaphysically, tangibly, spiritually. But one of the things that we understand, and this is like kind of the message that Saturn gives us, right? Saturn says, my job is not to fix things for you. I'm a guide. Saturn says, I'm a guide. I give perspective. Saturn never says, like, okay, this isn't working, leave it to me. You come back, it'll be resolved. Saturn says, you walk with me a bit. The one thing I can promise you is perspective. So we see that that's why, if these are situations where energy's been healing from a situation where another person just walked away instead of dealing with something, if that is energy that is returning back in the same form by which they left, which is, aren't you excited to see me? I see a lot of the energy saying, what do you have to say for yourself? Right? Aren't you glad? This is literally, aren't you glad to see me meeting? What do you have to say for yourself? Because I keep on hearing the excitement. Like when you walk away from something, it's a childlike view to expect that another person would be so excited to see another person that the past erases in the context of the arrival, is what I keep on seeing. So for a lot of these relationships, I'm going to tell you right now, there may be some senses of energy from the past coming back. But if it's the energy that was expecting the anticipation to heal something, they're in for a rude awakening. This is the summer of like the discontent, in the space of understanding that contentment is not created by building into a sense of anticipation, is what I keep on seeing. That's not how you build contentment. Anticipation does not make a contentment. Anticipation does not create contentment. It creates discontent. Anticipation creates discontent, is what I keep on seeing. While for a lot of the energy that's building into healthy partnership, it's like fortified by the mutual audacity of situations or circumstances of that modality. It's giving me a lot of, can you believe it? And energy saying you totally anticipated that was going to occur. Is what I keep on hearing. Remember how I told you that some of these relationships are articulating upon, they're building into relationship by identifying an unhealthy energetic cycle that they were potentially going through, right? And this is why I keep on seeing that these relationships right now, I told you they're getting fortified by the audacity, because it's the space by which it's not just the fact that someone from the past is coming back, but the fact that the energy almost anticipated. Like I keep on hearing, you could have set a watch to it, right? Just could have predicated upon the fact that someone was trying to hope that time would fix something instead of actually healing. There is energy right now that these are a lot of those new relationships that are starting. And as I said, this is temperance relationships. Beautiful direction sense. Why is it beautiful direction sense? Because even though these are in the reversal, it is the observation of recognizing and identifying that we don't replace sentiment with work, right? Then in the context of building relationship, we don't articulate upon the fact that we always think about one another, because when we're building with each other, we don't need to think about each other because we're actively living with each other. We're actually creating with each other. And so that's why I keep on seeing that these temperance partnerships, and I told you why, because the way the cups move, no sentiment, okay? When we're being energetically productive, we heal from sentimentality because we understand that a healthy relationship is not built upon it. You cannot build a relationship on sediment. You can't build a relationship on sediment because it's too wet, because it's too much about the ideology, the idealizing of another person, as opposed to the energetic reality of them. So these are a lot of those relationships I told you. They're temperance relationships. Remember I kept saying they're going to have really, really strong foundation? They don't let sentiment get in the way of perspective. Center card for today's spread. Boom, look at that. 8 of Swords in its reversal, right? This is like, and that's what I keep on seeing. And that's why I told you, now we're getting into those magician relationships. Remember, I articulated that those magician relationships were coming together from about the time of the solstice period up until the time that Mercury and Venus stationed direct behind Neptune. Now, you'll recall that for a lot of these relationships, what did we say? The sentimentality has to do with the perspective of self. A lot of these relationships right now are working through the hard lesson that a healthy relationship is not the space by which we build into the potential of another person. We don't build aspiration into healthy relationship. We hold each other in the embrace of the reality of one another, not the paradigm of the ideal, right? Because when we're building into energetic ideals, we're constantly and we're perpetually feeling energetically disappointed in partnership, because the idealization that we should put in partnership should exist in the direction that the partnership should go. It should not be within the context of the people that are occupied within it. And so that's why I keep on seeing, I would not be surprised right now. I keep on seeing there is something very important that's happening right now for those relationships where they're healing with the sense of chirality. And why do I keep on hearing the word chirality? Because chirality is the ability of experiencing something that one experienced in the past, but being able to identify the nuanced difference between something that feels like it is nourishing versus something that feels like was energetically depleting. Now, why are we effectively seeing that right now? We were seeing that even now there's a little bit of this playful teasing that we were talking about in terms of these relationships popping questions or talking about the direction of relationship. But this is why these relationships are healing right now, because it's the observation of the lesson that we only tease upon things that we feel confident that we will deliver to each other. The space by which we articulate upon something is not the difference between teasing and dangling. Is teasing is always articulated with the playfulness by which you are going to give something to another person, right? It's articulated in that observation of saying, of course I'm going to give that to you, and that's why I can tease upon it as if I would not. Whereas this is why this energy is healing from chirality right now, because if these are situations where another person was not teasing the obvious direction, but holding something away from another in order to change like the context of the self, like if you keep doing this, I won't give you that, right? This is a lot of the energy that's healing in a profound way, telling the difference between the palm that's open and the playfulness of that versus a game of energetic keep away, where another person holds themselves at a distance and tries to hold their energy in a way of trying to build that sense of change rather than the embrace of the healthy partnership. So that's why I said I would not be surprised right now if there's a lot of energy that is moving. I keep on seeing that is moving with a lot more determination towards one another. There's a lot more of that energetic elation. There's a lot more of that energetic excitement, specifically and particularly because it's the energy that feels fortified in the relationship, but also in the space of not feeling. I keep on hearing the energy that loves the reality of one another, not the idealization, right? Not trying to change one another, but almost like the more they find out about each other, the more they feel energetically safe in that embrace. While the fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread today are, we have here our 5 of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Ace of Wands in its reversal. Now, there's something very interesting that we're seeing here in relationality. Remember when I said for the energy deep within divine union right now? This is the hardest place to be with this type of energy. I would not be surprised right now if there's energy deep within divine union that feels like they're going through a slump or potentially feels like they're going through an energetic stagnation point. You'll see that a lot of that frustration right now is moving the energy either in separation or the energy moving deeper into divine union, into a positive direction. Like there's a lot of shifting that we're seeing that's happening right now as it relates to those relationships. The energy deep within divine union, it's not like this frustration is changing the direction of the relationship. The relationship was already on a set, strong course. You'll remember that these were those chariot partnerships. So the reliability of the context of the direction of the relationship was the fortification point of the relationship. So you can see it doesn't feel like the frustration is doing as much is what we're energetically observing. But that is also why we are identifying that for a lot of the energy right now, working through, I keep on hearing old problems in new ways, being able to work through something expeditiously and seeing how simple something can be. We're almost identifying that there's a lot of the energy that is learning to become comprehensive in this way, because I keep on seeing we become comprehensive when we are expansive in our frustration, which is the frustration that we don't, I keep on hearing the frustration that we don't react to, but we articulate through, that allows us a new ability to be able to articulate and define how we're energetically feeling. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, this could feel like a very productive time, because I see that a lot of that energy is just taking the frustration and channeling it into productive spaces. Instead, I keep on seeing, instead of feeling like they're spinning on their own wheels, right? And it's interesting too, because I keep on seeing that, like, for a lot of the energy doing that work, it's almost like the energy that's like looking towards one another, asking for advice, and almost finding energetic support in the process, which is the observation of being able to articulate upon something that one is hoping to do in a greater fashion. This brings us back to the energy in separation right now, clarification between our Knight of Cups energy and our High Priestess in its reversal. Knight of Cups in its reversal with the High Priestess. We've got 2 cards coming out right now, and that is our Judgment card and our 4 of Swords in its reversal. Now, this is very intriguing. Now, the one thing I want to tell you, I'm just going to give you guys this heads up about this. Energy like this right now, very common to be really, really, really tender in the feels at this moment. There is this type of energy, okay? Everybody is feeling super, super, super sensitive, okay? It is grouchy energy, okay? It is grouchy. It is grouchy energy, all right? I would not be surprised right now if you were to tell me you're tired of waiting for something, you feel like everything is a mess, and you feel like old wounds are feeling especially vulnerable. Why? Because Chiron and Eris are retrograde on top of each other right now. Chiron and Eris are on top of each other. Chiron is working through old wounds. Eris is the feeling of energetic chaos. Okay? So feeling messy and chaotic in relationality and frustrated about old wounds that were never yours to begin with, but yet here you are having to carry them. This is often talking about the way we feel in relationality to trauma. Trauma is the pain that we would rather not carry. And that's why I'll tell you right now, now is not the time to have a conversation with someone and say to them, just get over it. There is no getting over anything. Okay? There is no getting over anything, okay? But this is why, you have to remember, this is why Leo retrograding in, like Mercury retrograding in Leo was helping us, which is when we get tired of carrying something, Mercury retrograding in Leo says, have you tried putting a little compassion to it? Which is the space by which we say, sometimes we can't help what we have to carry, but how we choose to carry it is always our energetic responsibility, right? That is how we honor our journey. I also keep on getting, and this is why I also see, this is going to frame, like this has been coming up a lot, this is going to frame the difference about understanding what it means to honor our journey, okay? And you're not going to like what I have to say about it. Honoring our journey does not mean we have to honor the way we feel about things all the time. Because sometimes our feelings are off, okay? When we are feeling, you have to understand that the feelings that we feel come from two different places. They either come from our egoic wounds, right? The part of ourself that we don't have control of that wants to protect us no matter what, right? Or they come from our higher self, which is something that motivates us in a healthy, positive direction. Now, when we are honoring our emotions, we honor them by facing them, right? You have to think about what it means to honor something. When you honor something, do you just carry it around? Do you carry it casually? No, you face it, right? So the ability to face our emotions, the ability to address them internally, to speak to our emotions first before we make them someone else's problem, okay? Right? The ability to identify that allows the context of being able to do something in a better direction. And that's why I'll tell you right now, I would not be surprised if there are separations that are occurring in the context of someone being clumsy with their feelings. And what does it often mean when someone's being clumsy with their feelings? When you're demanding another person take care of your feelings for you, that's not honoring feelings. That's trying to bypass. That's trying to offload your feelings, saying, I feel like this and you have to deal with that. That's not how it works. We honor the feelings by being able to understand and give each other the tools we need to be able to remediate upon them, to be able to make something energetically better, right? It's the ability to introspect that allows that point of calibration. And that's why I would not be surprised right now and that's why I told you, and this is why the context, if these are situations where someone from the past is trying to energetically return, expecting that Saturn was going to do the work of resolving a feeling, what does Saturn say? That's not my responsibility. I don't do that. The only context by which Saturn heals anything, it's the only promise that Saturn makes to us. Saturn grants us perspective. And this is why sometimes, I will say, sometimes Saturn does manage to heal something. Because if we maturate, right, if we maturate on our own journey, we sometimes see things that we could not see before, right? So that can allow the context of, again, the space that of another person saying, I want to talk to you because my perspective has become clearer. But if these are situations or circumstances where another person comes back, not in the space of being able to speak upon something in a different fashion, in the context of being able to see something in a different way, it allows the clarity or allows the ability of closure. I keep on hearing there's fundamental closure that is potentially arriving right now as it relates to the observation of what feels like supportive or progressive, right? The ability to energetically progress upon something versus those situations or circumstances. And I'll tell you right now, if this is a type of energy where someone is coming back to another person, just expecting that the anticipation of seeing them was going to override the necessity of working on something. That's what I meant in relationality to it being a rude awakening. And when I keep on saying a rude awakening, it's not that it's rude, it's that it's discourteous. It's a discourteous thing to do to another person, to expect that anticipation is going to erase the need to be able to progress upon something. That brings us to, and that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, like I keep on hearing, like there's something about that in the space of healing, that even in these new relationships that are forming, they allow the context of renewed confirmation as it relates to what one is healing from. Continuing to get clarification between our high priestess energy in its reversal in combination with the Eight of Swords in its reversal. We have here our Nine of Swords in its reversal. So what we're effectively identifying that's occurring right now is for a lot of the energy that is moving deeper into divine union. That's what I meant in relationality to there being like that sense of anticipation. Like I told you, for a lot of the energy right now moving into divine union, this is the energy that was being rocked. I feel like completely rocked with the understanding of recognition of what was energetically missing in partnership, in past connection. The observation and being able to see what was missing. And I keep on hearing what was effectively missing in a lot of those relationships was the context of mutual appreciation. The ability to observe upon something, the ability to work upon something, the ability to identify and to feel energetically held, not in the space of what one is trying to become, but being able to be held in one's authenticity. You'll remember that this was the prioritization point in those relationships. And that's why I keep on getting, I would not be surprised if there aren't a lot of surprise proposals right now. A lot of immediate energetic action that is happening in the context of some of these relationships, because I keep on hearing that the ability to not only be held, but also to be able to observe something from the past in a whole different context. This is a lot of the energy that feels that certainty as it relates to counterpart connection that may be expediting some of those processes or some of those manifestation goals. This brings us to a lot of the energy deep within divine union right now. And I'm just going to say it again. This type of energy right now is most difficult for the energy deep within divine union. Because as I mentioned, what we're effectively seeing is for a lot of the relationships right now, the frustration is fortifying the direction of the partnership. You'll recall we said this is the temperance lessons. For energy deep within divine union, it's working through the feeling of stagnation. It's working through the energetic frustration. And it's feeling a lot. I keep on hearing a lot of the old vulnerabilities or old wounds potentially coming up to the surface right now. But that's why I keep on hearing what's beautiful, and especially for some of these chariot relationships, recalling that these are the relationships that were coming together from about the time that Mercury and Venus stationed direct behind Neptune up until the time that Mars went direct earlier this year. What we're effectively seeing and understanding is I keep on hearing there is a I keep on hearing there's something flourishing here. There's something that's flourishing within the frustration, because I keep on hearing when we are in our frustration, and instead of reacting to it, we articulate upon it, we become energetically comprehensive. We're able to articulate upon something in a greater fashion. And in that space of becoming energetically comprehensive, we become stronger. So I feel like there's something right now that's happening right now for the energy deep within divine union related to patience and perseverance, but also giving one another deep compassion, particularly and especially related to old vulnerabilities or old wounds coming to the surface. Clarification between our Eight of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Five of Wands in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Five of Swords in its reversal. And this is nice. We got double five energy here. We got double five energy here. And the two fives, I need to point this out. The fives in the tarot can often speak towards conflict, right? We often see a lot of symbology of conflict that we arrive to in that particular sweep. But look at the fives here. We've got both of those five cards in its reversal. And this is why, this is the conversation that we have, or this is why we work through something to a certain extent. And we allow the ability of being able to be adaptable as it relates to being able to recognize our own energetic triggers. Because I keep on seeing that how do I describe this best? We all have triggers. Never are we in more danger when someone says that they're trigger free. We're supposed to have triggers. There are things that are supposed to trigger us, right? There are things like I need to point this out. It's not just about getting rid of triggers. There are things that we feel validated in being triggered by. But that's the thing that's energetically important about it. When we are able to articulate upon an energetic valid trigger, we build into the context of resolution. We become comprehensive because it's in the articulation of a trigger, right? It's in the articulation of a trigger that we're able to resolve whether the energetic trigger feels valid. And this is why we always have to be careful. We have to be very, very careful about being passive aggressive. We should never be in the context of being passive aggressive. This is why being passive aggressive is so energetically toxic. Think about the concept. Just imagine the concept by which you say to oneself, I feel bad about something that I feel embarrassed to say out of my mouth. That's usually a sign that you're deep within your ego, right? That's usually a sign that you're deep within your ego about something, because when we're honest with our feelings, we don't mind expressing them, because the ability to express them allows the context by which we are able to articulate and define how we are going to do something in a greater fashion. And that's what I keep on seeing that is happening right now for a lot of the energy working through something. It's the ability to articulate upon something. It's the ability to speak on it. It's the ability to give it breath, right? The ability to give it breath that allows the context by which something can be energetically resolved and restored. So that's why we keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, right? I would not be surprised about, I feel like for a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, even work, I want to say this could be something that's happening right now for energy deep within divine union, healing from a tendency of being energetically passive aggressive. Because what happens when we're passive aggressive? When we're passive aggressive, we harbor something. And when we're passive aggressive and we harbor something, it doesn't allow the ability to clear the air, and it doesn't allow the solution, the situation to come to a healthy resolution. So everything I keep on seeing there, like, there's something really beautiful that's occurring, because in the ability of being able to talk through something, everything is possible. Even the energy right now, deep within divine union, is going through those temperance lessons, which is the ability to hash something out in order to do something in a better fashion, right? Now, for the energy that's coming into divine union, everything I keep on seeing here is building into, I feel like everything I'm seeing here is working through the situation or circumstance of, how do I describe this best? This is why I told you there's like almost an eagerness or a giddiness that I'm seeing right now for a lot of the energy coming into divine union. For a lot of the energy coming into divine union, the mutual appreciation that they're finding in the context of relationship. And I keep on hearing they're healing from the chirality of healthy teasing, the ability to tease upon something that is energetically expected, that is helping them from any relationship that was trying to create a sense of yearn. And I keep on hearing like the sense of yearn is one that feels like it's unhealthy, because I like to point out, like, yearn and earn have the same like root, which is the fear of something going away, is no context by which to build a healthy relationship. But those that want a relationship that's more based upon anticipation, those unhealthy, passionate connections will often create that sense of anticipation to replace reliability. Right. And I keep on hearing that is what is so profound. And this is why there is that eagerness of these relationships that are coming together right now, because it is in the ability of understanding the relationship that builds upon healthy expectation. Right. The expectation that is obvious it's not something that it's like something that you articulate upon, because it's not even a question, right? It's almost like the energy is teasing upon something that they know to be true, that suddenly allows them to heal profoundly in a space of another who used to try to articulate about the fact that if another person remained in a situation, like I keep on hearing, we don't get relationships based on good behavior, which is the space by which we don't waive a relationship as a condition to change behavior in order to succeed maintaining the partnership. So that's why I keep on seeing that there's something really profound that's happening there, because it's the observation of being able to recognize and identify what it feels like in the difference between nourishing relationship or energy that was building upon a sense of yearning. Continuing to get clarification between our Five of Wands in its reversal in combination with our Ace of Wands in its reversal. We have here our Knight of Swords in its reversal. Now this is interesting as well, because the Knight of Swords has been coming up a bit too. The thing I want to tell you right now is, like, especially when we've got these many planets that are retrograding in Aries, it can do a real number on our feelings, right? And I keep on getting the same space of understanding. And this is what I mean for the energy deep within divine union. Feelings, and I keep on getting feelings have everything and nothing to do with things, depending entirely as to whether the feelings feel like they are viable. And why do we talk about this? Because we talk a lot about this. We often carry feelings in the space where we experienced old wounds, right? We all have these moments. We have these traumatizing things, and sometimes something happens that would not be a big deal for another person, but for us, woo, right? Like, there go the waterworks, okay? It's like the understanding. And that's the hard part right now. I'll tell you right now, Chiron and Eris retrograding together, that's like understanding and getting to the bottom of the source of a wound, right? That's just digging down and being like, oh, there it was. Yeah, that was where it started, right? Where did it begin? And sometimes this is the work we have to do in relationality to unpacking feelings, because sometimes I keep on getting, sometimes we bring healthy energy to things. And sometimes we bring old wounds to things. So in the moment that we bring emotions that feel like they're energetically unhealthy, it allows the context of introspection. It allows the context of being able to understand and observe where that overactivity or that volatility may have first occurred, to be able to understand like the source of the anxiety by which we often become overreactive or we energetically shut down, right? So I told you everything energetically is a gift, even when the vibes are less than immaculate. So, and that's why I kept on telling you right now, this is why with energy like this, it is really important that you don't assume things, particularly and especially related to others' intentions. Because I'll tell you right now, the ability to articulate and define how one is feeling, the ability to be able to move through something in a way that one is able to speak towards it, and to be able to explain and define and derive meaning upon it. This is what I keep on seeing for a lot of the energy within Divine Union. This might be talking about one's own vulnerabilities. This may be talking about sore subjects. This may be talking about the situations or circumstances from the past wherein that volatility first energetically emerged. But that's what I keep on hearing. It's like it's the observation of a vulnerability in order to define and recognize how one can do something better going forward. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy working in that way, I keep on hearing it's frustrating, but it's productive because it's strengthening. Continuing to get clarification between our Judgment card, our Four of Swords in its reversal, and our Five of Swords in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Clarification coming through right now with our Seven of Swords in its upright. And that's right, for the energy and like, listen, for the energy in separation right now, I got to tell you, that audacity, I keep on getting the same message. The audacity is fortifying a direction. The audacity is fortifying a direction, particularly and especially if these were, I keep on getting the same message coming through. If the time does not fix things, fixing things fixes things. And often when we feel like we need an energetic break from something, all it does is prevent the ability to fix something. Because I keep on hearing the work rests there, is what I keep on getting, right? Like it's not, I keep on hearing the space, like the audacity of assuming that another person is going to do the work to fix something rather than the work being energetically mutual. I keep on seeing that if these are situations, I just keep on hearing the same thing where someone's articulating upon the space of identifying and saying that our arrival to circumstances does not create restoration. It's the ability by which we articulate our own intention, the ability by which we derive and articulate upon what it is that we would like to do in order to achieve something getting done. So that's why I told you that for a lot of these new relationships that are forming right now, this feels very strong. And I can even see the fact of potentially, I keep on getting, like, I keep on getting the fact that the new relationship is bearing witness to the old pattern, is what I keep on getting. The new relationship is bearing witness to the old unhealthy pattern, in so much as potentially trying to build into a new relationship with someone, predicating an unhealthy pattern, and then another person trying to come back in that fashion in order to continue an unhealthy pattern. That's just, I keep on hearing the energy saying like, yeah, like I can see the energy, like almost like it's, and remember, these are temperance partnerships. So that's almost the energy saying like, yeah, you are able to recognize it. You know, like it was the identification point of being just as you said. And there's a lot of that energy that feels, I keep on hearing, feels energetically supportive in that fashion because they're able to articulate upon the fact that they keep trusting each other's direction sense. This is what I keep on hearing in these relationships. They admire each other's sound judgment. Continuing to get clarification between our Nine of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Five of Swords in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please, for the energy moving deeper into divine union right now? We've got here, we've got our Ace of Cups in its reversal. Now, the thing I keep on seeing is for a lot of the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now, it's emotional, is what I keep on seeing. There's a lot of emotionality here. But the thing I keep on seeing is it's emotionality that feels like it is energetically supported. It is the emotionality that feels like it allows the context by which I keep on seeing like the ability to articulate the meaning that we have for one another. This is all I keep on seeing here with the Eight of Swords in its reversal and the Ace of Cups, because I keep on hearing it's the outpouring of affection, right? The ability to articulate upon how we feel about one another, the ability to express that, the ability to be able to define and articulate upon it. Everything I keep on seeing there is the energy, almost like, I feel like it's almost like that wash of relief, because you'll have to remember, for some of this energy coming into divine union, they're healing from some kind of feeling that was being created in past partnership, in the space of identifying or working through another person that made them feel like they were energetically broken, right? And what does it feel like when it feels like we're working through the context of feeling like we're energetically broken? It's the context by which another looks towards us and says, you are not the energetic potential that I expected you to be. But that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, being able to articulate and identify that, feeling that energetic restoration point. And that's what I meant about the chirality between someone teasing upon something that they're energetically going to give another person, right? The ability to articulate and define upon something and then immediately coming into the context of arriving there. This is healing in a profound fashion from something from the past where another person never had the expectation of offering something to another, but was effectively dangling it, right? Holding it away from someone conditionally, right? And that's what I keep on hearing. A healthy relationship isn't conditional about the changes within ourself. It articulates upon it should be based upon the conditions of the partnership, not the person. So everything we keep on seeing there, I keep on seeing like there's that giant, like there's this like wash of relief that is happening in that space, because it's the energy that not only, I keep on hearing, not only are they feeling the real affection from the counterpart that says what they mean and means what they say, but they're also experiencing the relief in releasing themselves from the energetic guilt of potentially departing from a relationship that they now recognize was never moving in the direction that another person was articulating upon, because they can see the nuanced difference between the relationship that teases upon something that is obvious, that is inevitable, versus the energy that would always, I keep on seeing that every time you took a step towards something, another person would take 2 steps backwards. The space that made one feel like one was always messing up, that one was never up to snuff, that made one feel like one was always just like a few steps behind instead of walking in alignment to another person. This brings us to the energy deep within divine union between our Five of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Knight of Swords in its reversal. There's that Ace of Swords in its reversal. You know, how do I describe this right now? you know, the thing we're seeing, I got to describe this right now. Like, I got to just show you. And if you have a moment, make sure that you head over to the Substack so that you can see the full spread. Because we've got here the Ace of Cups in its reversal, the Ace of Swords in its reversal, and the Ace of Wands in its reversal. All of these ace cards, all of these ace cards right now are in their reversal. And that's what I meant about the fact that I actually feel that we were in a little bit of a, I know this is going to sound kind of wild, but I actually feel like we were in better shape. We were in better shape when Mercury was retrograding in Leo with this energy. Okay. Mark my words here, because the thing about it, you have to understand, is it's working into the context of trying to put energetic compassion towards something. Remember how we spoke about the fact that when we've got all of these planets that are retrograding, like they're all retrograding together, and then you had Mercury retrograding in Leo. It was like one of the only planets that's retrograding right now that's not in Aries, right? That is like trying to push upon something. It's like trying to push on a door, right? And Mercury and Leo is going like, have you tried pulling it the other direction? Have you tried putting compassion into it? Have you tried putting a little compassion into it? So it may feel, because of the, like, and I keep on hearing, because of the work that we're doing in relationality to working through this, I feel like there is something that can feel a little bit energetically exhausted. You know what I mean? It can create that feeling of energetic exhaustion. It can just feel like, I keep on feeling like it can feel, it's like it's grind energy. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're feeling like this, I want you to be, and I want you to, like, the thing we have to be conscientious about, because we've got eclipse season coming on. We're coming out of a retrograde straight in, like a retrograde season, and then we're moving into an eclipse. So I want you prioritizing right now on what makes you feel energetically balanced, what creates that sense of energetic balance. Because, and I keep on getting, remember, compassion does not mean that one must be open to everything. There is a huge misunderstanding that we're working through right now in the difference between empathy and compassion. And I keep on getting, when we are energetically, when we are over empathetic, we often lose compassion for ourselves. And the ability that we are able to articulate and bring forth to situations is allowing the space by which we are able to articulate upon the compassion that we bring to ourselves, right? That is the space by which we're able to recognize and identify. And I keep on hearing, when we have compassion for ourselves, we are able to articulate, to advocate for ourselves, that allows the context by which we can have our needs met, right? So the ability to articulate upon those compassionate spaces right now, this is a lot of the conversation that I'm effectively seeing that is happening. For the energy in separation, right? This is what those new relationships are doing. They're talking about their needs, and they may even be talking about the context of articulating upon experiences wherein it felt like their needs were too much, right? And that's why I keep on seeing, and you'll have to remember, especially the reason that this is coming through is if these are relationships from the past where there was a separation simply in the midst of talking about the needs that needed to be energetically met. And if someone doesn't come back in the context of saying, I'm ready to meet those needs, but instead says, aren't you glad to see me? It's the arrival point of recognizing another person that is not coming towards us with the expectation of meeting those needs, but expecting that the sense of anticipation would wear the needs away. And that's why I keep on hearing these relationships that are forming in the heart of audacity, because it's a reaffirmation that time does not erase needs. That the only thing that erases needs is desperation. So that is almost the energy that's seeing something like that and saying, yeah, they expected the space of being desperate. But when we're not being, but when we're compassionate to ourselves, we don't build into desperation. We build into our manifestation goals. So this is the energy that says, "Aren't you glad to see me?" And another person saying, "No, I've been busy working towards that." And that's why I kind of got I told you, a lot of the closing out of cycles right now. And the reason I'm articulating this is because this is energy that is literally fortifying these new relationships. Because it's amplifying the energy that is moving towards something from a place of choice. This is the energy that is articulating upon the energetic choice. And it's the choice I keep on seeing of the energy that says that when we are building in a healthy way, we don't build upon the space of desperation. We build in terms of mutual effort. And that's why I keep on seeing that these relationships, like this is it. Like I'm going to tell you right now, the temperance relationships, this is the start of a lot of those relationships, because it is the energy that is able to identify and recognize what the value and power of mutual effort is. And I keep on seeing that is not the space by which another person, I keep on hearing, it's like, it's not the space by which another person takes something away to create eagerness, but the space by which we are feeling that identification point of mutual effort that builds that sense of excitement, or builds into that sense of energetic joy. Now, for a lot of these relationships, for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now, clarification between our Six of Wands in its upright with the Ace of Cups in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Woof! I got to tell you right now, again, if you have an opportunity, make sure to go take a look at today's spreads. We've got double sevens today and double fives, which is giving, it's giving a lot of, like, I need to just find this, like double sevens and double fives are actually very positive to see in retrograde energy like this, because I want to tell you, like, often when we're going through retrogrades, the feeling of energetic isolation can feel very profound, right? When we're going through the feeling of isolation, it can do a number on us. And I'll tell you right now, if you're feeling energetically isolated, I want, like, through this retrograde process, I want you to make it your business to reach out to someone. Make sure that you're articulating upon how you're feeling in order to get your needs met. Because I keep on getting, isolation often creates the space by which we start being energetically reactive, is what I keep on getting. But when we are able to and I got to tell you, I feel like a little bit of, again, I think that Pluto retrograding right now is also helping us in profound ways. Because remember how I said that, like, Pluto in retrograde is kind of like walking through a haunted house in the summertime, energy being like, boo! And you being like, I don't have time for this. Excuse me. No, it's not time yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's working through something that would have effectively, like freaked you out in the past. But never do we see our own strength when we recognize something that used to have us, like, quaking in our boots, but now we're just like, whatever. Like, whatever. And I feel like there's something really important about that, because like, this is like, it's a lot of the energy that is not, it's like distraction free from the space of fear. And I keep on hearing that, like, and you have to understand this, like desperation, longing, they're all based on fear, right? Like, say goodbye, like is no place to like start a relationship, right? Anxiety to see another person another time. I keep on hearing it's not romantic to pine is because it's like it just creates it's like it's a buildup of the fear. And what I like about this, and I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of energy right now that's healing on their perception of romantic, because I keep on hearing isolation is not romantic, right? The space by which another person has to dwell in the context of thinking about something. Never are we more afraid of commitment than when we linger too long on sentiment, because often you'll notice that those who linger too long on sentiment are ignoring the reality that's before them, right? It's like you can really wax poetic or sentimental on something that you're not doing. But that's why I keep on hearing, and I like this because, Saturn and Neptune, like retrograding together, says, why can't you have both? Why can't you have your cake and eat it too? Why can't you follow your energetic bliss with energy that is supportive of doing so in the same fashion? It requires mutual effort. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, that identification, right? Like being able to articulate upon the aspiration of partnership. This is what I meant in terms of the relationships. They're talking towards ideal. But what's beautiful about these new partnerships that are coming together, they're not talking about the ideal partner. That's gross. Do you know how gross it is to talk about the ideal partner? Think about that. Think about how gross that is, right? Think about the grossness of looking and saying, this is the energetic partner I'm looking to build into. How crude an instrument must you have in terms of your dreams, where you're pinning your aspirations on what's going to make you happy, on the energetic shape of the person by which you occupy an experience with. No. These energies that are coming together now, they think much greater. They talk about the relationship. They talk upon, they pin the potential on the relationship, not on the energetic perspective of what they expect the counterpart to be. The adaptability point of building, and that's how we heal from the falseness of idolatry. And that's what idolatry is. When we say, oh, this is what I'm looking for in a person, you're manifesting a person that's not necessarily real. No. We build upon dreams by talking about the feeling of what it is that we're looking for in partnership. And this is often why we get into unhealthy relationships, because then the universe delivers to you the perfect package. But what's inside of it? You know what I mean? And then you wonder what's wrong. You asked for the perfect package. You didn't really do much about, you didn't really talk about what you wanted, what else you wanted beyond the energetic package. Well, and that's what I keep on seeing here. I feel like there's even that space. I feel like there's a lot of that healing that's potentially happening in relationality to identifying and recognizing the work to be found. And I want to say, for some of these new relationships that are coming together, I can almost see this energy saying, yeah, I can almost see the energy articulating upon their own culpability in having to recognize the situation where, again, they may have identified those feelings of energetic rejection in another, but then they move towards them anyway. And I keep on hearing rejection is a terrible way to start a relationship. The context by which another person is thinking about you or thinking about it, like coming to a decision. I keep on hearing the energy that's getting the ick on it and saying they've lost the taste for it, because when you start to care about yourself and you hold yourself sacredly, then that feels, it becomes energetically gross, is what I keep on seeing. So there's something really significant there that I'm identifying. Well, for a lot of the energy right now, and that's what I meant, like even in the space, like if these are situations where even as they're starting to build into a new relationship, someone from the past returns, there's a lot of that energy that's not like, they're not opening their arms and saying, I'm so glad to see you. They're saying, what are you doing here? Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Cups in its reversal in combination with the Ace of Swords in its reversal. There's that Three of Pentacles in its upright. And this is why I'm telling you right now, a lot of these relationships, these are those magician partnerships that were coming together between the solstice and Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. Unconditional is what I keep on hearing. Energetically unconditional. And why are they saying unconditional? Because they're teasing each other on the unconditional feeling that they have for one another, is what I keep on hearing. This is the energy that's understanding what it means to be in an energetic embrace that feels unconditional, because the condition isn't the changes that we're trying to see within one another. It's being able to embrace the full enormity of each other. And that's why I keep on hearing these relationships are unconditional. And that's why they're advancing timelines, because it's that unconditionality that feels, I keep on hearing, it feels like a relief. It feels like a release. It feels like, I told you, I would not be surprised right now if there are pop proposals happening, or if there's a lot of this surprise energy, because it's not the energy trying to fix something in the context of moving a relationship deeper into partnership. It feels silly to wait. Final card for today's spread. It actually, I need to pull this one because it's transverse and it was stuck to the table. King of Cups in its transverse. So let's talk a little bit about this energy we're seeing right now in relationality to the King of Cups being in its transverse. Now for masculine, I got to point this out. For masculine and feminine energy right now, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, I feel like going through this retrograde cycle is requiring different work. Okay. For feminine energy, I think it's really interesting, because I feel like for feminine energy, it is more a continuation in being able to articulate that it is not rude to have boundaries, is what I keep on hearing. And I keep on getting this, like this is the feminine energy almost talking about it, that you can't, that those that do not want to be respective of your boundaries will often call you rude. That's the most polite way I can have for it. Like when someone is pushing on your boundaries, right? And you have them, another person will often articulate that as rudeness. And this is why I feel like there's a little bit of this like rude girl energy that's coming through right now for feminine energy, because I keep on hearing it's okay to be rude. You should be rude. It's not about being nice all the time. When someone wants you nice all the time, they're saying just go with it. Just don't get, yeah, if someone's bothered, no. If someone's like crawling all up your skin on your boundaries, no, don't be rude about it. Be nice. First and foremost, be nice. No, that's dangerous. Do you know how dangerous that is? To tell someone that they need to be right, they need to be nice, instead of articulating a boundary? That's crazy. That's nuts. Right? It's about being, it's, and I feel like that's the feminine energy that's working through the pathwork of healing the illusion of rejection, that says it's okay to be rude if there's a reason for it. It's delightfully rude is what I keep on hearing. It's okay to be delightful. You can be, as long as you are okay articulating as to why you're being rude, then it's fine to be energetically rude, is what I keep on seeing. That's the energy saying, like, I'll scream my rudeness from the rafters. For masculine energy, and I feel like that's a lot of the masculine energy that's also identifying and working through that as well. And I feel like for a lot of the masculine energy, I think that this is more the space of working in the context of recognizing and identifying and building upon the ability to feel energetically emotional. And I want to say even now, working through emotional triggers. Listen, this type of energy is going to trigger you like crazy, okay, with all of these planets in retrograde. And I got to tell you right now, I wish I could tell it's going to ease up. We've got a Pisces full moon coming up, guys. We've got a Pisces. Everybody's got to pull it up. Everybody's got to pull it together. I'm sorry. I hate to be that one. I'm sorry. You do not come here for me to tell you like sunshine and rainbows, okay? I am here to tell you. This is not the page for the sunshine and rainbows. I'm here to deliver the news, okay? We can get to the sunshine and rainbow. If you want sunshines and rainbows, you're gonna have to buy them. You're gonna have to make them at home right now. Okay, at home, homemade is fine. Okay, we got to craft them. Okay. It is going to get more. I wish I could tell you that the emotionality is going to clear up in a few weeks. It's going to get more. Okay. There's going to be more of it. We're going into an eclipse cycle in the midst of this retrograde energy. So I'm telling you right now, I want no slouching. Okay. I don't want no cry. You can cry a little bit. You can cry a little bit. A little bit. We give a little bit of moment. Just let it out. Okay. But I need you guys. I am saying this because I care about you. Finding the space, a healthy channel. Listen to me. A healthy, productive channel to move emotionality becomes supportive, right? Allow the emotionality to affirm your own direction, right? Not to overwhelm you. And I feel like, again, one of the things that I see that's difficult right now, more for masculine energy, is working through the space of a lot of that emotionality coming to bear. Okay, often, and we have to have that understanding that even in the context by which we allow the space by which masculine is able to identify and articulate upon this work, I feel like this is a lot of the masculine energy, like working through the ability to feel their feelings. And also having that ability of doing so in a way that allows for the understanding of why we feel the things we do. Because when we feel something, when we allow ourselves to feel something, we are then able to introspect on what it is that we're carrying, is what I keep on seeing. The only way we can experience, the only way we can feel it is if we allow ourselves to experience it in order to energetically heal it. Bottom of the deck on this reading today. Yeah, there's that 9 of Cups and it's upright, okay? It is not an ideal time. I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be hardest. I've been telling you guys right now, this is hardest for those with Pisces placements and those with Aquarian placements, and also for those with Virgo placements, okay? It's not about ideal. Never. I need to point this out. There's never an ideal time. Never. There's never been an ideal time in the entirety of existence. Okay, ideal is never. We build these illusions about magical places. Ideals are what we make of current situation. Write it down somewhere. Ideal is what we make of current situations. And usually those situations are less than ideal. That's why we call them ideals. It's the idea that we live. That's why we add an L to it. The idea that we live to be able to make it energetically ideal. So if you're going through this energy right now and you're feeling frustrated, allow that manifestation to affirm you. If it is not ideal, how can I live in accordance to the idea better? Because that's how ideals come to be. When we live, we add the L to the idea. How can I live into the idea more? That's the song of healthy manifestation. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here to experience it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do so there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who attended our recent tarot class. Tarot class is tonight. It is tonight. If you haven't signed up, go sign up. You still got time. I'm gonna send the class invite about an hour before the class starts. So don't be procrastinating. Just go over to my Substack, become a paid subscriber. Your subscription is your ticket of entry into tonight's class. We are going to be starting at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be focusing our studies tonight on the Tower card. Feels very apropos for this energy. We're going to go over the history of that card, the symbology of the card. I'm going to work you guys through spread applications, how you can read that card in any direction it may appear in your own readings. I'm also going to be presenting you a unique spread to help you channel the messages of that card into your own readings. And all you need to do, as I mentioned, to become a part of that class program is become a paid subscriber. Now, if you become a monthly subscriber to my Substack, you will have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we've learned or studied thus far. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the whole year's worth of classes, you will also receive full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library archive. That is access to over 15 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You will also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your benefit moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a founding member to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up, or a paid subscriber. I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to any of, you also have access to my Mystic meditation articles. I just released one recently on navigating the full moon that we just experienced. I'll be releasing one shortly about that new moon that's coming up. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorships. These are for any of my clients that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of clients for this reason, for that experience, because they are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase these per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you so much for having this reading, for being here today, and we will do this again